dearies, Lindsay Dianne here, and welcome back inside a Cobweb Cottage. It's been a while since I've done a fashion video, and it's for some good reasons, so bear with me if it's kind of like not what you quite expected or things that I've posted before, but it's because since the beginning of this year, Jonas and I really started to try to be more mindful about everything. It's taken me since the springtime to really get my wardrobe and the cottage and our lives to a place where I feel things aren't so cluttered. We have things that make us happy and things that really represent like what we feel on the inside, like our passions and interests. Some of it I've already shared on my old YouTube channel, but ever since I combined everything into this channel, I feel like some of these things have stayed in my closet, and therefore I guess they are kind of become staple pieces for me. In my last video I talked about how I was getting rid of a lot of clothing, donating or selling things that just didn't 100% make me feel happy, plus getting rid of some things that didn't fit anymore since I lost a lot of weight, which is why we've been on this whole like health journey. Before this, I really just kind of grabbed whatever was out there if I saw it at Goodwill, or you know, maybe bought cheap dresses online just because I feel like I needed something new. You're influenced a lot by like what you see on Instagram and everything, which is great. I love getting inspiration there, but at the same time, I felt like I kind of didn't know who I was anymore. I really took time to research and sit down and like look at Pinterest, look everywhere for inspiration, and really narrow it down to the things that I always find myself going back to. So basically I wanted to show you all what my like kind of spring/summer wardrobe has become. I'm excited because I feel like it's like probably the happiest I've felt in a long time with how everything has come together. I wanted to take like my spring/summer wardrobe as an example, and then hopefully maybe even do some videos going forward about this, because I finally feel like I know who I am. And I hope this makes sense to you, that you can apply it to your own tastes and interests. I already did a whole blog post about this, so I'm probably not going to go too deep into all my inspirations because I already put photos and everything on there, and you know, that's where we spend most of our time anyway, on the blog, so if you haven't checked it out, please do so. I just like to document my clothes. Is that weird? I don't know. Fashion has always just been a part of like the storytelling, if that makes sense, and of my life, and I've always just shown, you know, what I'm going through in my life through my clothing. So it's just nice to be able to show that, and you guys seem to love that kind of thing anyway, and I don't want the fashion aspect on this channel to get lost. So here we are. I'm not trying to show off all this amazing clothes that I have, but more just kind of tell you part of my journey of where I've come to, and it hasn't been easy. Just let me tell you, it hasn't been easy. It took a lot of work. And yeah, I'll share more about my health journey at the end of the video. Yeah, and by the way, I've also been trying to build Jonas's vintage inspired wardrobe, but it's a slower progress than mine. But if you guys would like to hear more about that, maybe once I get more things for him, I could do that. And maybe we could start doing couple things, fashion things together. That would be awesome. But what's really helped me to have a more cohesive wardrobe that makes more sense is just really thinking of it as like in a color palette. And for me, that really comes down to very patriotic things. If you saw our summer cottage decor tour, you saw that, you know, for Jonas and I, we really love to mix and match our nationalities into our decor, because, you know, for Sweden it's very like folky, and there's a lot of like yellows and blues, and with American it's like red, white, and blue. So we like to put all that together, and I realize that's kind of how I like my summer wardrobe to be also. With that color palette in mind, and then breaking it down into like 4 kind of categories of styles for the summer and spring that like I'm always drawn back to. So those are, and they might sound a little bit weird, but if you've been following me for a while, then it makes sense. So the first category would be kind of like, just like your typical 1940s countryside cottage lady. That's if that makes sense. So I just want to live out my best cottage life. The other side of me, like when we go to Sweden, that is my more folky peasant Viking style that I'm always going to try to also like have. That was a challenge this year, like trying to mix some vintage Viking medieval styles together. The other style would be kind of like a summer goth style, a vintage goth, because yeah, I'm always gonna have that little piece of goth in me. We live near Sleepy Hollow, you know, and near a graveyard, so. And the last like kind of category that I've spent the most time in actually this summer would be my kind of vintage prairie style. I'm gonna show you a few of my like summer essentials, like things that I pretty much accessories and stuff that I've worn all summer. And bear in mind that I don't really have a huge wardrobe and I want to keep it that way. I don't have a lot of elaborate things to show you and I tend to wear the same things over and over, but you know what, I only get dressed up like once a weekend. I don't go out every day, have full-time jobs and stuff, so there was really no point. You know, that was a whole other thing with like downsizing my wardrobe. I realized, why do I have so much clothes? I'm like, I don't even go out that much and these things aren't even making me that happy. So like my first summer essential would obviously be like a big straw hat, and I this year added some ties on it to just keep it on my head, and I just feel like it makes it like that much more vintage looking. So this one is from Unique Vintage several summers ago, and I've worn it so much you probably all are sick of it. I recently found this at an estate sale and put on a vintage scarf and like poked little holes in it. That's been really cute this summer too. I've worn that a bunch, but it's nice that I could actually switch out the colors of the scarves to make it look a little more different here and there and kind of match the clothing. And then for my summer goth kind of style, I will have this black straw hat. So for hair accessories, I got a little bit more like floral things. This one is from an Etsy seller, and this is from a friend that she used to make these. And I just have a few colors of these, and I would like to get more floral ones, but they're just pretty and cute. Okay, by the way, everything is going to be linked on the blog if you would like to know where I got any of these things. I got these earrings that are like 1940s reproduction. And then for my more folky clothes, I've had these Viking earrings for a long time that Jonas bought me, and then these I got this year when I was in the Southwest with my family, and so they're just kind of, I thought they would go with a lot of things with my folky style. The gold and the black just kind of match a lot of things. I found this folky brooch at an estate sale that's in the color palette I was talking about, the red, white, and blue, and I've also worn that with a lot of different outfits, so I'm pretty happy with the accessories I have, and whatever I find from here on out will just be a bonus, but I'm kind of like, don't feel like I need much more, and that's a great feeling. And then I also really like to accessorize with scarves. This one I've worn in my hair on lazy hair days. I've worn it around my shoulders. I thrifted this straw purse this year and put a little hair scarf on it too, just to add a little extra vintage touch. This Besame Cosmetics Snow White scarf was also a big inspiration for me with all of this journey of trying to figure out what my style is, because I felt kind of lost for a while. And this, I don't know, it's funny how like something like this can just kind of spark that for you. It was the colors that I love and just the overall vintage fairy tale vibe that I love. So sometimes it just takes something like that. I was watching my first summer favorites video and I talked about how I got my first Besame lipstick, and now look at it, it's almost gone, and I shows how much I actually wear lipstick. But also here's the Snow White red lipstick. That is just my favorite shade ever, but I only save it for special days. And then another part of my like summer essentials is I've found, but had these sandals that are from, what are they from? I thrifted them. White Mountain, and they just have a little wedge and they just go with everything. And recently I thrifted these, which are a little tight, but they looked really cute with some of my medieval folky stuff. Share my new favorite shoes for when it's not super hot outside. I think these were from a brand called like Rocky Mountain or something. I got them on bootbarn.com. I picked these especially before I was going on my trip to the Southwest with my family, because I thought they would look cute as a kind of cowgirl boot, but I realized later in the summer as I was wearing more of my folky prairie stuff that it also went with a 70s look. It also went with my kind of Anne of Green Gables kind of style looks too. So these were a really great purchase for me, and they're really comfortable, and the little heel This makes them a little fun. I realized that to have more of a versatile wardrobe, I needed to stop just buying dresses. I know it's hard when those are like the cutest things, but I needed to buy more separates, skirts and blouses. So I really took some time to comb the internet trying to find, you know, of course I always try to thrift things first if I can. I think it's, you know, better for the world to do it that way, but when you can't find what you're looking for, you know, I'm allowing myself to spend a little extra money to go online and find something that I really love. Of course, what I really, really would love is probably a little bit more out of my price range at the moment. I showed you guys on the blog like what my ideal kind of wardrobe is and the things that I haven't purchased yet but would love to. Did get lucky with a few thrift finds, but also purchased a few blouses online just to have that more flexibility. But this was a fun little find that I actually got at an estate sale. I think it's like an Austrian, you know, blouse, a traditional folk blouse. And I've paired it with a few different things. I did like a sort of hobbit look with this in Sweden. It's really cute. And I paired it with this beautiful skirt that I found on Etsy. Because it just, I felt like it would work with so many things, but in Sweden it definitely was fulfilling my hobbit old-fashioned dreams. But I love the cute little pockets, and I just feel like it overall has like a cute kind of storybook kind of vibe with the little scalloped edges. You know, to get that folky peasant look, you have to go on Etsy and search for like folk tops or peasant blouses or dresses, or like vintage dirndls or Austrian dress, you know, those kinds of things to find so you can feel like you're in the Sound of Music. What I've really been loving for summer is like embroidery. This was actually one I thrifted, but there are so many beautiful vintage ones out there that I hope to afford one day. Basically just trying to stock up on a few peasant tops like that I can mix and match. This one I just worn with everything all summer. This one and this one that I love are actually from a modern clothing company like Shine, is that how you pronounce it? I wouldn't like highly recommend them, but they do have some really nice pieces if you dig through their website. And this one, the quality was actually like so much better than I anticipated, and it worked really well with my Viking kind of peasant vibes in Sweden. And this little kind of vest thingy top, I don't know, I'm the worst, you guys, at describing things. I think it works kind of well with my summer goth style. I wore it to the Sleepy Hollow Lit Festival, so I can show you that outfit here. And then just another fun shirt. I have like no t-shirts in my collection, but I got this one for my southwestern trip with my family, and I bought me and my sister and my mom matching t-shirts from, what is this brand? Atomic Tees, and it says Horseshoe Trails, and it's kind of a play off of the Happy Trails song. So I want to show you some more of the skirts I found. This one was at Goodwill. Nice stretchy back on it, so it was actually really flattering on the waist. I was really happy to find this. So I love gingham for the summertime. You're going to see a lot of this, obviously. And it's like a neutral, a vintage neutral. I'm trying to acquire more vintage pieces, like true vintage, in my closet. And this was one for my trip to Arizona. I found it on Etsy, but it actually turned out to be one of my followers, and so she was so sweet and added some extra gifts in there. And it's just a beautiful patio skirt with this beautiful embroidery, and I picked this color this is a perfect example of the color palette I was talking about. So this is exactly what I was trying to say about just spending a little more extra time to find things that really make me happy, and this piece is just special. This is not vintage, but I really love it. It's also from Shine, and I was kind of surprised by the quality on this one too. I thought it reminded me of the peasant version of Snow White, you know, when she has like the white blouse and then the brown bottom of her dress. And it also worked really well, I thought, with like more Viking fairy tale vibes in Sweden. I wore it to a castle there with the white blouse I was showing you, and then I also paired it with a shawl and a flower crown that I had over in Sweden for a kind of vintage fairy tale vibe in Sweden in this wheat field. So I already got a lot of use out of this, and I feel like it'll just work with a lot of things. And I just love the little corset waist area. It's just like really flattering. Okay, so now I'm going to show you my dresses, which make up the most of my wardrobe. They're just, for me, the easiest thing to throw on, but I'm trying to be better and not buy as many dresses as skirts as I should be. Did want to show a few things that I loved this summer, but also from previous summers. So I got this on sale from Collective, and it just has a cute little floral acorn pattern, and this was kind of my go-to dress in Sweden, like for just going out on little adventures, because it had pockets and it worked well with boots if you're like in the forest and stuff. So this dress was very handy and practical. Similar to that one is this gingham dress from Lindsay Dianne, and it has pockets, and what I really love about this one, it has a lining inside. So a vintage style that I really love for the summer is like these pinafores. I would love to invest in a more true vintage one, or maybe like a reproduction, but this was just one that in a pinch I purchased before going to Sweden, and it has pockets, and it's from the Gap actually, in a navy blue, and I've been buying a lot more blue lately. I just kind of feel like it's my new kind of color. This dress is actually a couple years old for me, but I just had to give it some more love. It's from Unique Vintage. I bought it for when my sister and I were going to the Jazz Age lawn party in New York City, but I also wore it when I went to Disneyland with her this spring, and it was a cute Minnie Mouse look. So I just love pieces that, you know, just kind of like a staple that works really well with different things. Speaking of Disney and magic, I don't think you guys are even ready for this beautiful piece of artwork. So you know how I was talking about color palettes earlier and the red, whites, blues, and yellows? Well, this is a Snow White inspired 1930s dress made by my dear friend Elizabeth, and she has a matching one, and I wish we could do a photo shoot together, but she's all the way in Washington. But she's so sweet and made one for me too, because I couldn't believe when I saw her post it, and I have not worn it yet. I really need to give it a decent photo shoot. It's just the summer's been so crazy. So just want to show you some of my like summer goth dresses. This is like a 70s one. It has shoulder pads, and I've worn it to Sleepy Hollow a few times this summer, and it's just nice with some like cat eye glasses. Let me just talk about this baby. It is a 1940s reproduction, and it's from an Etsy seller, and I'm just obsessed with it. I did spend a little more money than usual on this one, but I just knew instantly that this is how like I want to feel in my wardrobe. So this is even like hand embroidered, and I asked her if she could do it kind of in the same colors as the Snow White scarf. So slowly but surely just trying to make my closet look like something that Snow White would wear. And I love it so much. And here's a few more dresses in my folky peasant prairie style. And this one's from Lindsay Dianne, and I love the cute little pockets and flower embroidery. And then this one I got on Doll Me Up. Sadly closed their doors, but it is so cute. It has ties in the back, but my favorite is the embroidery at the bottom, and it worked. I've worn this like 3 summers in a row in Sweden just because it makes me feel like I'm in a storybook. I also got lucky at an estate sale and found like a real 80s German Austrian dirndl in like a beautiful navy blue color, and I don't want to pull it out right now, but I wore it in Sweden, and it really made me feel like I was just like this beautiful Sound of Music woman running up the hills of Sweden. So basically I haven't felt that pretty in something in a really long time. And then the last section of dresses I want to show you would be like my prairie inspired, and this is one I bought from a friend on Instagram. Thank you, Elizabeth. And I was heavily inspired by my dear friend Veronique, who inspired me to get into like this prairie style. She is like the queen of like pretty pastel summer gunny sacks, Anne of Green Gables style summer clothes. Like, she's the best, and thankfully she lives in New York, and we get to meet up occasionally. And I wore this dress when we met up and went for a picnic, and so I kind of like to think that it looks like a Diana Barry dress from Anne of Green Gables, and she's kind of like the Anne to my Diana. And this one is really pretty. I also wore this in the Southwest with the cowboy hat and everything, so very I love how these kind of dresses can just like work with lots of different styles. Speaking of Anne of Green Gables, it's like super long, and I bought it instantly when I saw it on Etsy because it did remind me of Anne. The green gingham, and it's actually like the sleeves and the collar are all attached in one piece. It kind of low-key looks like a costume from a play. And I actually wore it to when we went to the Mark Twain house for a visit, and as I was walking up with Jonas and I had my hat on and everything, I panicked for like one of the first times in a really long time and was just like, I feel like I'm in a costume. I also took some shots of it with the house next door, the Harriet Beecher Stowe house. She wrote Uncle Tom's Cabin, and but her house really reminds me of like what I would imagine, you know, like a house from Anne of Green Gables to look like, and so it's just kind of perfect to wear it there. It definitely needs to be styled, otherwise it really looks like you're in a play. And then this dress is from Lindy Bop. I love that they're starting to carry more like kind of Western prairie style stuff. It's a wrap dress, and it has these pretty like daisy design on it, and it's kind of just fulfilling my farm girl old-fashioned dreams. So is this one. It's a 1950s dress. Whenever I hold like true vintage items, I just am like, this is how I want my whole wardrobe to feel. You can just feel the story like behind it, the history. And this one I've worn with like a vest over it, and it looks like a cute farm girl look. This one, you guys, I'm so excited about. Probably actually gonna wear it more this fall, but I thought I would lump it in with this video. But it is a German or Austrian dress. Beautiful buttons all the way down the front, and little lace embroidery on the side and on the bottom. Actually, when Jonas saw it, I was like, what do you think of this dress? And he was like, it looks like, hello fall, here I come. And I was like, you're right. So I think this will be a good piece to kind of transition from my summer country girl style into my fall one, more like hay rides and apple picking and stuff like that. So I'm so excited for fall, you guys, you don't even know. It's my summer favorites, kind of folky, kind of prairie, vintage, cottage woman, I don't know, but basically I'm so happy that I finally feel like I'm really found my style, and I hope that all of this kind of shows you how hard I've been working on trying to really mindfully build my wardrobe, and eventually Jonas's too. Will take some more work for him, but I'm really excited with the progress we've made with our closet and in the cottage, and I'm excited just to keep sharing this journey with you and hope it inspires you that you don't need a ton of clothes to feel happy with what you have. Plus, I think I felt a lot happier too, it's just because I've also been investing more time into myself. I started doing a exercise program and doing yoga, and so just physically I've been feeling better, and I've been trying to just invest more time into the things that I've just been putting off about myself for a long time. Ever since my health problems happened, you guys maybe already heard this a million times, but I burned out from trying to do too much stuff at once. I lost a lot of weight and have stomach issues ever since, and my body was just telling me to slow down, and so I finally had to listen. But because that bad experience happened, it did open up a new pathway for me to just really take time for myself. I just want you to know that you are worth taking extra time for yourself, no matter what is going on in your life. There's ways to find pockets of time to have some self-care routines. You know, I've really had to shift around lots of different things in my life to make room for the things that I've been putting off, and I'm really, really happy with where I've come now in life. So if you'd like to hear any more about that too, I would love to share more about our kind of health journey. I've just kind of held off talking about it too much until I kind of like knew what really worked for me. So I don't want it to just be all about pretty clothes and everything. I just really want to show you guys like this journey I've been on, both that I've called my road to retro, which turned into also like sort of a healing journey for me all those years ago when I first started dressing vintage. Like all those years, really, it's only been a couple of years, but I'm finally really happy with how my hair and everything is coming together. I hope you found some inspiration from this video. Don't forget to head on over to the blog post that goes with this video, because there's lots more inspiration and fashion over there, and I'm excited to hopefully be sharing more fashion videos from time to time now that I've really like taken extra time to purge my closet and focus on what I want it to really be. And I'm sorry, I'm just like the worst YouTuber ever and I don't even know how to speak. And I hope any of this made sense. Okay, but thanks so much for watching, dearies, and I'll see you in another video. Bye for now.